From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Wednesday, June 14th, 2017. Silver's trading at $16.93 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,266 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 1.7 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $2,750. Antiwar.com reports the Senate has voted on the resolution introduced by Senators Rand Paul and Chris Murphy of Kentucky and Connecticut, respectively, aiming to block portions of President Trump's $110 billion arms sale to Saudi Arabia. The vote was, as expected, far closer than previous ones on previous arms deals, failing with just a 47-53 margin. Senator Paul spoke extensively on the need to limit arms sales to Saudi Arabia, citing the humanitarian calamity of the Saudi invasion of neighboring Yemen, warning it has linked Saudi Arabia's tactics to the United States' support in the minds of the Yemenis. Paul cited the very troubled record of Saudi Arabia on human rights and cautioned that the record arms deal with them would serve to fuel hostility towards the United States abroad, citing specific incidents of Saudi warplanes bombing hospitals and funerals. Senators Lindsey Graham and John McCain of South Carolina and Arizona, meanwhile, argued that the arms might conceivably help the humanitarian crisis in Yemen because the U.S. makes smarter weapons that are more accurate. This argument was made in spite of the Saudi government already using U.S. bombs throughout the war. The two also argued that arming Saudi Arabia was an excellent way for the U.S. to move against Iran. It's unlikely that the arguments were seriously impactful on the vote, however. Rather, support for the arms deal is primarily bolstered by lobbying from major U.S. arms makers who stand to make tens of billions of dollars exporting weapons to the Saudis to keep the Yemen war going. But for 5 Senate Democrats who voted against the resolution, it could have easily passed aspects of the sales, and those Democrats almost certainly weren't swayed by Lindsey Graham's say-so. For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. UPI reports Apple issued its second green bond on Tuesday to fund the tech company's renewable energy efforts, valued at $1 billion. Last year, the company based in Cupertino, California, sold $1.5 billion worth of bonds in its quest to run 100% of its operations on renewable energy. Apple said the bond sale will also help support its plan for a closed-loop supply chain, products made entirely using recycled materials. The company is investing in several non-fossil fuel projects, solar energy, hydroelectric plants, and biogas facilities in Oregon, North Carolina, Nevada, Arizona, and California. That includes $850 million on a 130-megawatt solar farm near San Francisco over the next 25 years. Apple says its new Cupertino headquarters runs entirely on renewable energy and includes rooftop solar panels supplemented by fuel cells. Apple also has received permission to sell power to the wholesale energy markets. 2 weeks ago, Apple criticized President Donald Trump's decision to pull the United States out of the Paris Climate Accord, signed by almost 200 countries, aimed at curbing greenhouse gas emissions. The company was among several companies pledging to continue supporting efforts to meet the Paris Agreement. Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 is a nightmare to the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411, because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Get it today at getcell411.com. Reuters reports Otto Warmbier, an American university student held prisoner in North Korea for 17 months and said by his family to be in a coma, has been medically evacuated from the reclusive country after a rare visit there from a high-level U.S. official. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson said Warmbier, a University of Virginia student from suburban Cincinnati, was on his way back to the United States Tuesday evening. The release came after Joseph Yoon, a State Department special envoy on North Korea, traveled to Pyongyang and demanded his freedom on humanitarian grounds, capping a flurry of secret diplomatic contacts, according to U.S. officials. Warmbier was detained in January 2016 and sentenced to 15 years of hard labor in March last year for trying to steal an item with a propaganda slogan. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.